In the courtroom, it's a circus. Homie got the lions, prosecutors crooked, messy in the frying. Innocent rappers, their tears like diamonds. Truth gets twisted, just like the Mayans. Panel keeps the real, drop knowledge bombs. Corruption on blast like Vietnam songs. Free the innocent, they ain't commit the crimes. Justice served hot, rhythm and rhyme. Show and survive, justice goes live. Spotlight on the truth, we cut through the lies. Corrupt gotta run, we see through the skies. For the innocent rappers, we rise. We rise.
Ha! Hello, folks. Welcome. I just joined from the other stream. I hope the redirect worked and everything. Hello, folks. Hello, folks. And let me just put this banner up. I have to modify it. Dun, dun, dun. We got today 34 new members on this channel, and thank you so much. And we are, let's see here, so I can bring it up to you, because we have a counter. We have a counter, folks. We have a counter. We are at 9,960 members. We are 14, well, not members. That would be amazing. Subscribers, 9,960 subscribers. We are 40 subscribers away from 10K. You have been amazing the last couple of days in subscribing and everything. So, darn it. See here that Lady Chameleon, Monica, Factual Lie, Satchel, Casper, and dun, 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 and a lot of new members. Sorry, Jesus Christ. Angie, Walk Through Girl, Factual Lie again, Angie, Steph, and Badass Tax Mom. That's a good name. That is a good. Little Mike from Wichita, Kansas. And evening from Great Britain. Hello. Trena, and Patty, and Diogo. All right, that is also a great name. For channel reasons, I cannot say much of it. And look at that. Satchel gifted a membership. Thank you so much. That gets us up. I must admit, this member counter I borrowed from Catnot Williams. And speaking of that, hey, Hey, how are
Steal
you
away.
doing?
We gotta count our gang memberships.
Yeah, I mean, they are roughly the same people, and they seem to get along. So why not?
And we're all about hybrid gangs. So
Yeah. Yeah. Is it just me, or are you a bit? Or your video stream a bit choppy? Is it, or is it just me?
Am I wiggly? Hello.
Not now. Not now. Okay.
Okay.
Now.
Maybe
Hey.
it's just the joining.
Yeah. Maybe. Oh. Makwanda Mathis. Hi, I just recently discovered your channel. I love it and your coverage of the YSL-Trial. Thank you for your time and effort. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, this week in the YS. Oh, hell.
Haha, I beat you to clicking it.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Gee, wow. Now I have to change that again for today. 55 new members for today. That is an amazing number. And thank you so much, Satchel. That is,
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Satchel.
Yeah, I mean, you recently became a member yourself, and you are just pouring out memberships. Thank you. Thank you. I just got everybody over from my previous. So I'm trying here to get everything sorted because I like to have the pop-out chat.
Yeah, and first name Steven. Wanted to
Steven, okay. Thank you, Steven.
His name used to be his full name, and ever since he changed it, I was like, do I still say Steven? There we go. We now have explicit permission.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I just realized your background. I'm like on the American side.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, I have had the prison cell background for quite some time, and it just didn't fit well. So I made
You got a
this
Bucky's
instead.
hat, and you had to add a flag to your background, American flag.
Yep. I had to. Now I do also have my my Stetson or my Miller hat. Yeah. I really enjoy it, but it's in the box over there, and when time comes, I will bring it up when they're right. Oh, last weekend, I must admit, I had a few shots and a drink and something, and drunk me ordered me something.
What did you buy?
Do you all want to see what I bought?
They do. I'm going to answer for them. They do.
Oh, let me see here. Let me bring it up. Dun, dun, dun. I have to bring it up. It is a double XL.
I could see it in the preview.
Bucky's onesie. I don't know when it arrives, but if it arrives before my before the celebration stream, I will wear it on my celebration stream. Yeah, for you who don't know, hi, I'm Nick. Drunk Nick likes to buy sober Nick presents. And a double XL Bucky's onesie is on the way.
The chat is loving it. They are ready. This is why we need him at 10K subscribers, you guys. Because we need to see the Bucky suit.
Yeah, and we are currently at 9,964. So 36 to go.
I had just shared too. Heck yeah.
Oh,
Oh, good times, chat. Good times.
good times, good times. But at least this time I remembered I ordered something interesting. Because in the past, like last year, my Wheel of Regrets had only alcohol in it. And my memory was a bit fuzzy the day after. And then 6 to 8 weeks later, something showed up in the mail. That is where my red and black camo sport jacket came from. That is where my chicken hat came from. That is where, yeah, a lot of things is for, because drunk me likes to give sober me gifts. Oh wow, here we go. Thank you, Malana Mac, realtor. Howdy. Thugger Daily just posted something very interesting about this trial. Okay. I haven't checked. All right. Dun, dun, dun. And thank you to Malana for gifting a membership. Thank you so much.
Shout out to Marlena.
The story of Pee Wee Roscoe, the accused Lil Wayne tour bus shooter. While we support the defense currently fighting an unfair trial, I think it's important not to forget how the state has taken advantage of some others who have been waiting for trial for 2+ years. When he first was arrested after being accused of Lil Wayne's tour bus shooting, Roscoe rejected multiple plea offers. Finally, the court got itself involved in the plea negotiations and illegally implied to Roscoe that if he didn't accept this plea, he would be tough on him. And here is says, I'm a whole different person, and you're sitting over in jail listening to everybody shoot their mouths off about this judge and that judge and the other judge. We all have reputations. My reputation is not that I'm an easy judge. I assume this is Judge Glanville. I know it, you know it, the whole community knows it. So if that's what you want to go up against, be my guest. You got an offer, it's about ready to evaporate. You're not coming back to there unless you convince a jury of people from Cobb County, Georgia. Okay, Cobb County judge. I don't know Cobb County judges. You didn't do most of this. There is such a thing as winning a battle and losing a war. If you think you're so smart and you got it all figured out, you go to trial. Let's say you get acquitted on, how many counts are there? 27. So let's say you get acquitted on 10 and convicted of 17. You add it all up and it's still a mess of time, and I don't care when you get paroled. For me, any plea deals with this should be overturned, because that is coercion. By far coercion. This is more coercion than the ex parte meeting. Having a judge say this shouldn't be a judge.
Yeah, it's like I could hear the tone of voice being like almost like it's yelling.
Oh, Erin Olivia gifted 5 memberships. Let's see here.
Erin.
Okay, well, okay, then we are +6. That gets us to 61 today. That is amazing. Thank you so much.
We only need 8 more.
Yep, we need 8 more. Now, we learned last week what a 68 was. And we all know what a 69 is. And I accidentally told everybody what a 70 is, which is a 69 with a finger up the butt.
They're going.
And +11, as Satchel and Kaya Serpinko. +11, that's 72. Yeah, let's not go there. Yeah. A 70. I don't want to know what a 72 is. Oh, but this from... Okay, let's continue with Thugger Daily. Unsurprisingly, when the judge is straight up telling you, plead guilty or I'm going to be tough on you, Roscoe felt he had to plea or he wouldn't be treated fairly at trial. Also, unsurprisingly, this guilty plea was deemed coerced and involuntary on appeal. Okay, that's the appeal that was nullified, that they brought up in this trial, wasn't it? They mentioned the plea deal a few months ago that was nullified by the Supreme Court.
Oh, okay.
And then he
that
took
might
a
be the
new
specific
then he
one.
took a new plea a couple of years ago. But Ms. Love read the first plea into evidence under Judge Glanville, which was completely improper. And here is from the ruling. Let us be plain. If a trial judge communicates either explicitly or implicitly to a criminal defendant that his sentence will be harsher if he rejects a plea deal and is found guilty at trial, then Rule 33.5a has been violated and the plea may be found involuntary.
I mean, it's spelled out loud and clear under Rule 33.5a, but can you guys hear the voices of Love and Glanville in your head trying to argue this? And why this rule is wrong?
Yeah. And because this is...
As you reach for a beer, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Friday. Now, this will be interesting when it comes to how, for instance, Mr. Sledge's plea deal, how that will be. Now, I don't know if there is any coercion in that, but I would assume if they try to do this with Woody.
Yeah. Oh, that would be hilarious. Can you imagine everything we've seen from Woody, but under these circumstances?
Yeah.
And yet, Chad is saying, I think this is Winfrey. Yeah, I think this was Jimmy Winfrey. Right?
Jimmy Winfrey.
I almost wanted to say Jeffrey Winfrey. Too many F's. Jimmy Winfrey.
Pee Wee Roscoe is this one.
Oh, it's in the third image, too.
Also remarkable was the trial court's statement to Winfrey. To Winfrey. That he would have to convince a jury of people from Cobb County, Georgia. He didn't do most of this. An explanation that shifted the burden of proof from the state to Winfrey. But of course, the state bears the burden of proving a defendant's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And the burden never shifts to a criminal defendant to present evidence of or to prove his innocence. I mean, this is Estelle v. Williams, 1691, that is just the number 1970. I mean, that is, involuntary. I mean, the case law on this is so vast. And Angie, gifted 5. Wow. Here we go.
Yeah, Angie.
That brings us to 77 today. Well, technically it's past midnight for me, but it's still on the same day for the rest of, for most of you, for YouTube. So 77. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see here. His lawyer for the appeal was the same lawyer that secured an Alford plea for Gunnar in today's YSL-Rico case, Steve N.Starow. The appeal.
Steve.
Good for you, Steve. The appeals process took so long that in 2020, after 5 years in jail, the state offered Roscoe a time-served Alford plea, which Roscoe accepted. 5 years. As a part of that new plea, Roscoe was able to continue to completely maintain his innocence. Fast forward to 2022, and the state charges Roscoe with the exact same crime and plea, but this time under RICO, which they are using against him and everybody else in the case. How crazy is it that you can agree to accept sentencing for a crime, take a plea, think you moved on, then the state locks you back up again for the same thing? Now fast forward to 2024. Roscoe is still in jail. Bond denied, waiting for his trial to someday start. He was appointed a lawyer, but last we heard, Roscoe said the lawyer has made no effort to even contact him, and Roscoe wanted a new lawyer. The judge tells him he's welcome to hire a new lawyer at any time, but if he can't afford one, he's going to be stuck with the one appointed to him, and he'll hear the issue of whether or not his current lawyer is ineffective at a later date. Wow. So he has been, he was in jail for 5 years, and then they re-indicted him for the same crime, and he is now being in jail for an additional 2.5 years. 7.5 years in jail. Wow. Let's.
Mr. Francis has filed a leave of absence, and he's out of the country currently, and so. Yeah, briefly, go ahead.
Yeah, on the record, I like prior to that counsel, he had legally corresponded with me, no type of way with this case. If you saying this is the final plea, and I ain't had one lawyer, I ain't even got my discovery pack, so I would like to retain another counsel because I feel like I have been ineffective counsel by the individual.
This shows up every once in a while. What is the crime he was charged with? Unless it's murder, there should be a statute of limitations. He had a multitude of charges in the old thing, and now he's recharged under RICO. And in RICO, the charge with the longest statute of limitation is what applies to all the charges. And in this RICO, it is murder, which has no statute of limitations, and therefore, according to Fulton County Supreme Court, Judge Glanville and others, every charge, every crime has, they don't need a statute of limitations because murder is in the charge. Which again brings the question, if they are acquitted of the 2 murder charges in this RICO,
Then
do the statute of limitations start to reapply for the other charges? It should, because then they have expired. And that is why the 2 murder charges are so important for the state in this case, because without it, everybody might walk.
Do you want to hear Jimmy Winfrey's charges, guys?
Yeah.
Besides count 1, which is, the one, he's charged with 24, 25, and 26. 24 is violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. 25 is possession of a firearm by convicted felon. That's a very frequent one we keep hearing for others. And 26 is participation in criminal street gang activity. So that's what he's actually facing. All of this time that he's
7.5 years in jail, and he's charged with things that the statute of limitations.
You could get no time for.
Yeah, you get parole. You get parole for that, or maybe time served, and in extreme cases, maybe a year. But he's been in jail for 7.5 years by now.
And I really think the possession of a firearm is a trap too. Like, that's just, if we want to look for something, we'll find it. And we've charged you before, and now we can say it's worse.
Yeah, and looking at what has been shown in this trial, the charge against, for instance, Shannon Stillwell is he's seen in a video with guns, and people have testified that he had guns. But to my knowledge, there's not been him being caught with an actual gun. And when it comes to videos, props. Done deal. Let's listen more to this one.
Never answer the phone, and I understand that when you're in a citizen, you got to fight.
Yes, sir. That's true. Are you are you asking to be able to get someone else appointed? Or are you saying that you have the resources or intend to hire private counsel?
I could hire a private counsel and retain another. I'd like to be appointed another counsel.
Okay, well, let me make sure we're on the same wavelength. What I'm asking is, our understanding was that you were indigent and not able to afford to hire an attorney. Okay, well, then the question isn't whether you can hire a private counsel or get someone appointed. It would be either you end up having to stay with Mr. Francis or you're able to get someone else. I understand what you're asking, and we'll take that up at a later date because we need to have him here to be able to hear from Mr. Francis, because he didn't, I guess he got appointed right before the last time we were in court. Was that not? I'm not arguing with you. Sir, I'm not disputing what you're saying right now, okay? I'm just saying I need to have him here so we can know the reason why, if he hasn't been able to contact you or go forward with you. And unless and until we find out, we're not going to just give you another lawyer.
Well, I have my family retained when I want to.
Well, you're free to do that at any time. You're free to do that.
I'm doing it now on the record. I don't want him as my attorney.
Yeah, as you can see, his appointed lawyer isn't even there in court. As No Cursan saw. He has to argue himself in court because his lawyer didn't even bother to show up. I mean, seriously. And let's see here. 9,976. 24 to go, folks.
By the way, I
24.
didn't see you share the panel on Twitter. I just made like a quick post if you just want to like retweet it quick, but I didn't see you put the panel show on your X today.
I forgot.
Unless I missed it. But I noticed it while reading the thread.
Let's see here. Oh, there it is. We are live now. Boom. Yeah. Shared. Oh. 9980. Oh. 81.
Go,
82.
go.
Go.
Go, Gadget members, subscribers.
Dun, dun, dun. 81. All right, where were we?
So, I saw someone in the chat asking about attorneys. Let me see. I'm assuming for Jimmy Winfrey.
Yeah, I saw that there should be some attorney in Georgia that could simply show up for him.
Dennis Francis Jr.
And here's the thing with this trial and this case. Once you get to this case, you can't do much more unless you have a team behind you. And this one is costly. 9,991. 92. Wow.
And he's listed as a public defender.
I'm going to fetch myself a glass because when we hit 10K, I'm going to open the good bottle.
The good stuff. Take over. I'm taking over, guys. And since I'm technically signed in through Nick's StreamYard, I can talk as him. Ooh. Oh, you know what we can do, guys? You know what we can do? 60 seconds, all caps. Anything you want. Go, go, go. Go before he comes back.
No!
Go!
98!
Go, 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 go.
90. What? Oh, come on!
That's definitely Casper. Casper would do that.
For frick's sake!
Oh, I'm gonna cry tears.
900,
Oh!
9,999. Come on.
Oh!
Where is it? Who will it be?
Don't make me start a
10K!
burner account. Yay!
Wow.
Oh, I
Okay.
gotta put confettis in your chat. Congratulations. Long deserved.
Oh, that took a while. That took a while. And NJB, first person to donate his or her hard-earned cash to this now 10K channel. Thank you so much. Now, let's open the good bottle. This is Varchas straight bourbon whiskey finished in port wine cask.
Oh gosh, you have
yeah.
a gang animal at the top of it. I see an eagle or a falcon up
Yeah.
there. Be careful.
This is an eagle, and on the seal, it's a double-headed eagle.
Be careful.
This
They're gonna say
I
you're
bought-
beefing with somebody.
This I bought in Detroit from a local distillery. This, I believe, is not for sale yet in the open market because I bought it at the distillery, which is the Shankar Distillery, which is www.shankardistillers.com. And wow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Wow, 10K. Now I just have to remain at 10K because sometimes YouTube decides the day after a big milestone to remove a few. So to be sure, let's get us to 10.1. Thank you, Satchel. Thank you so much. Thank you. Whew. Now I have to open this. But they do all these bottles. They do all these by hand. Put the labels on and everything, and they put the shrink wrap also by hand. See, this is completely unopened.
Oh, Mr.
Hey, Mr. Jingles, shut up! Hey,
Perfect
Mr.
timing.
Jingles, are you also here to celebrate? Of course you are. You have no idea. Oh.
Love that noise.
Oh. And in a proper glass. Pour me myself a good one. I will not take this as a shot, by the way.
So handsome and graceful back there, Mr. Jingles.
Hello, Mr. Jingles. Hello. Licking his murder mittens in preparations for something, I would assume.
He's trying to climb over. He's trying to be your hat.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Thank you so much. And looking here. Yeah.
Wow. There you go. You got a cushion.
I got a cushion. So thank you. Cheers. Oh, this is good.
Don't you have a yay sound effect in your clips somewhere?
Do I have a what?
Don't you have like a yay or a confetti or something that you used to celebrate in one of your sound effects?
Hold on. Oh. Thank you. And then I have to go down here to...
Yeah, that one. I'm like getting stabbed by the little Viking guy. He's like in my nose.
Now I have this one.
Oh, that one's
I have this one, and I have this one.
Love it. I love how they all have like the ginger color hair. Every single one of them.
I used to have blonde hair and reddish beard, but I aged. It burnt out. Thank you, everybody. Speech?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you. There, done? No. Me and Mr. Jingles really, really want to say thank you for, the channel has been, my YouTube has been around for quite some time, but I started on December 28th of 2022. I made my first attempt of being a content creator. And that was the day when...
It's plea deal day.
Yeah, it was. But I didn't cover this case at that time. At that time, one of these infamous Twitter back and forth occurred between Andrew Tate and Greta Thunberg, where Mr. Tate showed off all his cars to Miss Thunberg, and she replied with, "Oh, I'm so impressed. Please email me more at smalldickenergy@hotmail.com." Yeah. So that was my first coverage, actually, back in the day. So I went from... And my goal was to be monetized within 2 years. And I'm still not up to 2 years. And I have 10K. I'm amazed. Oh, by the way, thank you, Kat, for gifting 10 memberships. Thank you.
Oh, anytime.
Mm.
I think you had a few sneak in there, but that faded off.
Let's see here.
Did you get the...
NGB Nene, Satchel again, Cat, and now FFS. Congrats on 10K. Also, this is for any of my off-the-cuff comments that may pop up. Yeah. Speaking of FFS, when I started this Young Thug coverage, I had 2 counters. Well, the one which is the sidebar counter. I also had an FFS counter, and quite fast it became, nah, I can't do this anymore. There were too many famous palms and me saying, oh,
that is so good.
So, yeah, and speaking of sidebars, we are at 246.
Insane.
So everybody who has joined me throughout almost 2 years now, thank you for sticking by. And I see some of the people who were in my audience the first month is still here, and you are troopers, and thank you everybody else who joined along the way. Thank you so much.
We got Rice Street.
Rice Street! 5 memberships. Does that mean... No. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Rice Street is letting 5 people free. It's too crowded.
Right. Yep. That's it. Rice Street is where I don't know. 7. We must be at more than 77.
YouTube will count for you, right? For a stream, if you go into the... I just learned this like 2 days ago.
What?
You want to know how... There's the live stream dashboard within YouTube. It tells you total members for the stream.
Yeah, but I'm counting for the entire day.
Okay. So you got to know your baseline and then just add whatever your current stream counter is.
Yeah.
What were you before you started the stream?
I think I said it in the beginning of this stream. I'll have to check.
The chat probably knows. The chat probably remembers.
I was at 34.
Okay, cool. So we could either count manually or you can always see. And I did not know this, but if you go to your live stream board, it tells you the members for the stream. And then just add 34 to it.
Nah. 35. 55. 56. 61. 71. We missed out on It's hard to make that exact number, but we missed out on both 68, 69, and 70. So 71, 72, 77. Thank you for being a member for 13 months, Erin Olivia, by the way. 82, 87, 97, 102? Wow! 102 members in one day, I believe, is the most I had in one day, by far. The previous record, I believe, was at around 60. So
69.
So thank you, guys. You broke the record. That's gotta be a record, and it is a record. And let's add on to that record. Wow. I'm kind of speechless. And we are at 10,028. So the cushion keeps going. Tabis!
Hey, Tabis.
103. And for you who don't know, now you have access to members-only content, which includes, but is not limited to, personal thoughts, the renovations on the farm in itself. Once I do a new intro I'm interested in, I publish it to the members first, so they can say it's crap or it's good, and then I can use it. And stuff like that. And you also have the link to my Discord. And here's Iron Rabbit adding on to the gift 5 more. This stream will just be me counting out members. 108. And there's more. MG Law. 113.
So much green in the chat.
So much green in the chat. Thank you so much, MG Law. Thank you. And next Friday will be the celebration stream, which includes Ask Me almost everything. Anything, everything. Because as you know, I cannot reveal things about clients. And I have this rule. Cases I talk about has to be more than 10 years old and non-identifiable. For instance, the cases you have heard me talk about in previous streams are not unique. So if you remember when I talked about the case where I had to defend somebody who shot themselves in the leg with a nail gun, I wish it only happened once. I really wish it only happened once.
That sounds terrible.
Rice Street with another one. 114.
This is the only time we can say shout out to Rice Street.
Shout out to Rice Street. 140 new members today. That is an amazing number. And thank you, Eslo, for your $5. Thank you so much. DCP, Nick and Cat is a combo. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I do believe I remember I sent out a DM to you when you had that one video that got a lot of views.
The civil forfeiture one.
Yeah. But I've been watching your, I don't know if I was in your chat or not before that, but I mean, I remember when you had an entire stream and maybe 200 views. And then you just blew up. And I'm so happy for you.
It's been a fun time. Well, and I used to be in the chat. I made my YouTube channel at the end of like June or July of, I think it was July, because YouTube just told me my channel was a year old. But I had made that just to upload like transcriptions for something for the Depp vs. Heard trial that people hadn't really heard. It was like a Toronto Film Festival recording. So I just made the channel on accident to upload this recording, because you can't just like type it into a tweet. And then I was like, oh, and then I covered another case and just kept going. So I used to be in your chats last year already, but on a different YouTube profile.
Oh, okay.
But I started using this one.
Which one was that?
I don't know if I for a short period I changed my name on it to Cat, but it used to just be like a random name. And I used to be
Yeah,
like
I do know that, but I have
bunch of chats.
I have 3 cats in my chat.
No, that's not me. I know like Cat Dragon and then Cat with 1 T. I know those cats too.
Yeah.
Shout out to my fellow cats out there. But yeah, I used to just be a lurker.
Yeah, I mean, I was a lurker too back in the day. I mean, I watched the Depp v. Heard and just talked to people. I was on Legal Vices. The other Nick, who is not, the other LawTube Nick is having issues. So I'm currently the only Nick who can say Coke on stream, and everybody assumes it's Coca-Cola. And I mean, I watched those and I talked to them and got in contact with a few of them who did that with. And then I thought to myself, well, if they can, why couldn't I? So, but don't go back and watch the first month of videos, because I thought I had a niche as doing labor law and labor law issues. Nobody's interested. And I was a beginner and I wasn't good at it. But we all learn.
Well, you know what's actually interesting is really heavily in the last probably 12 months or so is a lot of like SA cases that are being filed under something like the Adult Survivors Act or the California equivalent of New York's Adult Survivor Act. A lot of them are including like workplace claims within their civil suits.
Yeah.
So that's actually been like a really interesting crossover between the topics is this influx of late Me Too cases on the civil side, having like harassment in the workplace and the workplace failing to protect me as part of the claims.
Yeah.
To sue the company rather than just the individual alone as the party.
Yeah, many not ranking, but many well-known artists are doing their business through a company which holds all the assets. So it's more or less useless to sue them as an individual anymore. They have to also sue the company.
Yeah.
Because there is where the money is. And that applies to most lawsuits that you see. They are suing somebody because of something. And then they bring in the restaurant nearby or something like that. And that is only because you can't sue a homeless person. I mean, what's
Have
in
fun.
it? Yeah. And or you can't sue the individual daycare worker. You have to sue the entirety of the daycare because they have insurances and stuff like that. And thank you again to Rice Street for another one. We're at 115. Wow. Yeah, as Casper says, company is an LLC within an LLC that is inside another LLC. Yeah. One of the more intricate ones, now this I can't talk about because it's more than 10 years ago, was with Tetra Pak. They have one of the most intricate owners structure. It's probably the most intricate owner structure because it all boils down to a foundation in Luxembourg. But it doesn't stop there. But it's a wall in Luxembourg for further inquiry what is behind that foundation. So, and for instance, Tetra Pak, who does the milk cartons, and stuff like that. And yeah, they have in Sweden alone, I believe, over 100 companies applied to that name. So finding owner structures in the intricacy in over 100 companies, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, they kind of do that a lot in real estate with like investors and where they house each individual or groups of properties. That way they're not all under one holding.
Yeah.
And it's just
And then
like
it's
LLC out the behind.
Oh, yeah. Don't get. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm glad I didn't do real estate. I'm quite busy with my little corner of the. Oh, is it itchy, Mr. Jingles? Is it itchy?
The pose.
Draw me like one of those French cats.
Yes. The rose in the Titanic.
Oh. Now, where were we? Oh, I forgot. We were talking about this. By the way, Glanville allowed the state to talk about the original involuntary guilty plea that was overturned on appeal to make it look like Roscoe pled out in exchange for a car from Thug. Yeah. And that is a clear appellate issue because that plea deal legally doesn't exist since it was overturned. Once it was overturned, in legal matters, it doesn't exist anymore. And Miss Love still read it into record and was allowed to by Judge Glanville. And for me, the law on it is crisp clear. You can't do it. And they still did.
Well, and it's like that's two people that okayed it, right? Because it's Love to initiate the attempt to do so when she should understand that, and then the judge approving it, and then she does the same thing with an Alfred plea for Mooktunk, and the judge acts like it was she got rebuked, but that was rebuked because we assume this was the first time you've ever done something slick like that. Well, you've done literally the same thing before.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, and this Glanville did not allow Stipp to respond to this by introducing evidence that the guilty plea was nullified on appeal and therefore not recognized by the law. Judge Whittaker, when faced with this, said she's not interested in what Glanville did, and that's an issue for appeal. And that is very disheartening that judges just punts it to the appeals court.
For a case that's already like appeal length in its own instant case time. Like it's already years and years.
Oh. To the farting dragon. Hold on.
Such a peaceful picture and then farting dragon.
Yeah, I have a swoop. And I forget about it from time to time, but I do have a swoop from when I change subject or something happens. And for instance, here it's an interesting place for Replay Crew to have an ad. You guys shouldn't have ads, by the way. The stream is monetized, but that means you should have an ad going in and an ad going out, not while I stream. So if you get it, then it's on YouTube. But in order for me to know, this is a good place, I show this one. The Norwegian fire farting dragon.
You know what the fire farting dragon brought?
Yeah. 20 gifted memberships!
20 more grays are freed. They are now green.
20 more. And that brings us, wow, 135 memberships for today. Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody clip it. Somebody clip
Clean
it.
Fani Willis wallet out.
That was good.
Yeah, the Rice Street has started its own gang. No, just so you know, folks, and you should know it by now, we are all part of Mr. Jingles Viking Thugs. JVT is a non-criminal organization that does not take responsibility for whatever anybody else does or says. Unless you're in Atlanta, then Miss Love might, yeah, we don't know. Oh, wow. I'm amazed. Thank you. All right, let's try to get through this. Blah, blah, blah. As a summary, Roscoe was coerced into a guilty plea, which was overturned on appeal, which took years, so he got time-served plea, which the state is using against him and everybody else in a RICO right after, with an appointed lawyer that has yet to even talk to him. The point of this thread is not to argue whether someone is guilty or not. Everyone deserves a fair trial, and it doesn't take any legal knowledge to understand the state is taking advantage of a lot of these defendants and violating their rights in pursuit of a bigger goal. Also, bonus fact, not so fun. As a part of Roscoe's case, the state used the same halftime lyric we've been hearing them using over and over in the YSL case today. Except back then, they argued Lil Woody was Lil Wayne. Lyrics change based off what they want. Wow. So he is technically convicted of the crime he is now charged with again, which is and they are allowed to do this because RICO nullifies the double jeopardy. And I don't understand how that is possible.
Well, I would also, it's a possibility that they knew it was Lil Woody, but they needed Lil Woody for so much that they didn't want to name him, so they made the play call to just say it was someone else that they would never intend to actually, like, call in. How did they not know at that point that that was Lil Woody? They even typed it Woody. It sounds like they're making up the name when they know it was Woody, because any communications that they read would have spelled it as W-O-O-D-Y. Yeah. So I think they're lying in this agreement by spelling it W-H-O-D-I. And pretending it's not their star finesser.
Yeah. Now, let's see here. What? I'm going to bring up something else here because I can, because it's my channel. Hold on. Dun, dun, dun. For you who are in the know, I have a PayPal. That PayPal is what I'm using to get back to Atlanta during closing arguments, whenever that occurs. So I deeply, deeply appreciate everything you do for this channel. And of course, the proceedings from this channel will also go to it. But PayPal explicitly is for that trip. That way I can keep check what's in there and what's not in there. Because I don't know when closing argument becomes a reality. Judge Whitaker says 30 weeks, which is 28 weeks from now, which puts us in April, I believe. And I don't have any vacation. No, it won't. But I don't have any vacation days until August of next year. I get my vacation days once a year. And this year I used it to go to the United States. And so hopefully I will get back there in time for closing arguments. Whenever
August
that is.
Might be the ballpark time.
Yeah, Atlanta in August. Yeah, that's warm. So hopefully I can get back there, being in court, listening to closing arguments in real time. Unless Miss Love sees me and puts me in jail. Then I will use that PayPal money for bond and an attorney.
Otto says August, but of 2027.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not even funny, but it's also realistic.
Yeah, it is. It is. But that is what PayPal is for, or at least my PayPal going forward. And I think I have like 600 or $650 in it at the moment, which is the plane ticket there. Jessica, 5 more. Thank you. That brings us to 140 memberships today. Wow. Wow. Let's see here. Where are we now? We are at 10,042 subscribers. That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you so much. So now I have a bit more of a cushion. Thank you. So many memberships today. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for getting me over 10K. I mean,
The wonderful part is green is the color of this slime. Everything green must be gang related. And when you become a member, you are now green. You are now green.
Now, Apple, Casper has this explanation. The join button currently does not appear on an iOS inside the YouTube app. Try joining from another non-iOS device or opening the channel page in Safari browser, according to YouTube's. So that is, yeah. I don't know. Oh, here we go again. Rice Street, 10 more. That brings us to 150.
I say that's 10 less people we need to smuggle chicken pot pies in for. They're free. They are free.
And Sandy, $15. Thank you. Enjoy watching you both. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I send over my viewers to her, and she absolutely pours down her viewer. Because you have a bunch of you have a little more viewers than I have.
Well, Casper is usually to the rescue because, and I've realized, I don't know why, because it seems to work fine for everybody else, but when I end a stream, even with the redirect set up in StreamYard, the redirect doesn't go. I have to end it on YouTube for the redirect to actually work for me.
Really?
So, but yeah, so other times it was really because Casper was also sharing the link, and I didn't always see the raid notification when I hopped over here, unless I started closing it through YouTube.
Okay, so, that is what I have to do. I didn't know that.
It's like finicky, right? Do you notice like sometimes it doesn't actually redirect?
Yeah, because normally on the chat you see your viewers are now going over to this channel, but that stopped working like 3 weeks ago for me. But sometimes people say it worked, but for most it doesn't. And Steven.
Shout out to Steven.
160 more members today alone. Wow, I'm amazed. Thank you so much. I mean, when I started out this, I mean, I got up to 150, 200 members quite fast because people, they like to gift memberships. And I've been steadily around 200 since then up until maybe 3 months ago. Then it became 300, and now all of a sudden I'm over 400 members. And I really, really hope that as many as possible, once this gifted runs out, that you start paying stay green. Yeah, so others can be gifted. Now I do know that a good portion of my chat does not have the means, and I say this all the time: do not give what you don't have. I explicitly forbid you to give what you don't have, because if you have to choose between bills or bread or me, I'm not even in the picture here as an option. And for you guys who does have the means, thank you for providing those who doesn't. I think Rice Street said something funny. Oh.
Oh wait, no, there's another.
Oh. Oh, it's a gang war between Satchel and Rice.
No.
Oh. I mean, this is a gang war I do not complain about. 170. Wow. Now we're more than 100 more than I've been gifted in one day. And I believe that day was my birthday stream back in May. So, yeah. What happened with Fani? Fani is in today she is in Washington at a panel show of sorts. And I posted about it not that long ago. Dun dun dun. It is.
He posted it on LinkedIn too. Like she posted like an announcement on LinkedIn about being there.
Let's see here. No, not that one. Oh, look. Oh, Otto! 5. Otto is in the game. 175 gifted members.
Adelson is a drive-by.
Oh, wow. Rice Street is rinsing Fanny's funds. Yeah. Let's see, where is it? I have to check over here. Dun, dun, dun. Yes, here it is. Let's see here. Bum, bum, bum. She is a panel show Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett with Christian Menefee, County Attorney Harris County, Texas, Dr. Frederick D. Haynes, and Fani Willis. A clapback, fighting in the current politically violent climate. Well, let's avoid politics, but I would not endorse a candidate who has the habit of sleeping with a married man and then lying in church about it. That's just me. I don't care what political color you are. I really don't. I wouldn't even care if she slept with a married man, but she lied in church about it. That I care about.
I think she got finessed by a dude, and I'm looking at this YSL case about that's built on a witness that finessed the detectives and the DA's office, and it just makes sense.
Yeah.
We're having prosecutions led by people that are easily finessed.
Yeah, I mean, more or less, once they got started with the investigation into a RICO case, they found Woody's statements and thought, "Oh, let's build on this."
This is good.
That's an honest guy to build a case around. Everybody up for. But I do believe that without her representing YSL Mondo, I still say she has inside information about the insides of YSL through Mondo. And that is why he is not a witness for the state, and he's not even indicted or charged or anything. But the defense
he hasn't even been named as an unindicted co-conspirator.
No, he hasn't.
Like, not even the bare minimum association has been applied to him.
And he's been so open with that he is a co-founder of the YSL.
And feels very blessed that he wasn't indicted.
Yeah. Blessed. Dimples Dawson. Hey all. New to you and Cat's channel and glad to be here. Enjoy you both. Thank you so much. Thank you. Wow. I have to show this. Fani Willis and Nathan Wade went on a cruise, and I achieved allegedly what happened on that cruise. So
The Simpsons.
I'm so
And the
proud
fact-
of that meme. I'm so proud of that. I made that myself. I'm so proud of it.
That's the principal, right? In The Simpsons?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm having way too much fun with all of. And then I discovered Suno.com, you know, the AI songwriting app. Who do you,
We're not, don't do the NJ song, don't do it.
Chat, give me a 1 if you want to hear the NJ song, or a 2 if you don't want to hear it.
And I could go refill I don't really need to refill my water. I need ice. It's just very warm. So if you want to play a song, I can use it as like a little intermission.
Okay, 1 for you want to hear the NJ song, and 2 you don't want to. And I have the rap version and the country version.
I'm with Pinko.
Oh.
All right, we have 2 2s in there.
Yeah,
I think it's outnumbered though. I think you're gonna play it. So I'm gonna go put ice in my water. Have a good time for the next minute and a half.
All right. I have played the rap version quite a lot, so I will play the country version.
Cold steel walls, shadows creep. Stains on tiles, secrets keep. Broken souls, dreams bereft. In the showers, no mercy left. Wall drifts on cracks, cement. Ain't no peace and no repent. Lifeless eyes stare straight ahead. And they whispers prayers to dread. Not just running down the drain. Echoes of our lost refrain. Chains and ghosts haunt this place. Freedom's just a memory's trace.
Oh. All right, I saw a question here from CMHC. If it is true that Willis represented somebody in Thug's family years ago, is that not a conflict of interest? Somebody please research that with more than a brain than I got. It can be, but not necessarily. That depends on the actual relationship between the relative and Mr. Williams. So this is one of these lawyer answers. It depends. But if this is a representation that happened many years ago, when Fani Willis was in the public defender's office, I would sadly say, and I don't say this lightly, that it is not. a conflict of interest. Simply because there are only that many public defenders, and if it's a second cousin or even a cousin, it's not near enough related, depending on how close Mr. Williams and that person was. I sadly have to. I lost 40 viewers playing that song. Okay. Does it pass the smell test? For me personally, no. But under the circumstances with a limited amount of public defenders, yes, it does. The cat took a long time to get her eyes back up. We are still waiting for Kayla and Miss Bump and Sylvia, but let me just see here. Sylvia is still streaming, and I don't think. No, Kayla should be here. She has the link at least. But Kayla has a family and everything, so I don't. She said last Friday that she would see us this Friday. So hopefully she will show up. And Sylvia is doing her own stream at the moment. Let's see here. She's been going on for well over an hour and a half. And for you who don't know, Miss Sylvia got demonetized by YouTube for reuse of content, which is bogus. No, I know she has her critics. I'm perfectly aware of her critics. But her demonetization is bogus, in my opinion. And she got a 90-day until she can reapply to it, which is not a guarantee she will get it, but at least she can reapply to it. Hey.
I am back. I thought it was a good opportunity to change my laundry over, so I'm back.
Yeah. O.M. Mason says he's the 10,000 subscriber. Congratulations if you are.
Oh, that's awesome.
We are currently at 10,049, so an even bigger cushion.
That's awesome.
And again, next Friday, celebration stream. Ask me almost anything. And members, of course, get their ass put. I will do a thing in the Discord where members can ask their questions. And for the rest of y'all, if it's really interesting, I will answer it. But for grifting reasons, yeah. But next Friday, not today, next Friday. Because I simply cannot I would not remember if you asked something good in this stream. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Somebody's laughing at Rice Street again. What did he say this time? Breaking news. It was just liquid. Oh, okay. That's bad. That's bad. The sad part is that I actually got it immediately. Have I ever been in jail? No. I've never been in jail or in prison. Have I been? Oh, I will wait for that. Friday, September 20th is Nick's AMA. Yes. It will be the panel show, and the panelists will have a free question.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I've got a week.
Yeah, and I will invite a number of people who has appeared on my show. I've appeared on their show. So it can be crowded. It can be really, really crowded next week. But it's still panel show about the Young Thug trial. So at least the first half hour of next Friday will be the Young Thug trial. Unless we get derailed. Do we ever get derailed, Kat? I don't know.
I've had a hard time being in chats watching other topics and not thinking about YSL. It's like so far ingrained in my like front of mind.
Yeah.
That I don't get derailed away from YSL lately. I get derailed from a different topic into YSL.
Yeah, but I mean, so I post videos or streams about different cases because I want my audience, because my audience now is mostly Young Thug trial, but I want to have them open up for other trials as well, because in 2031 this trial will be over and we need to change the subject for the channel to keep thriving and everything. But for instance, I have the Shane Kendall case, which is in Fulton County. I cover other Fulton County fails, as I call them, which is more or less, I talk about Fani Willis. But for instance, I covered last year, I covered the Adelson case down in Florida. And the matriarch of the Adelson family is up for trial. And that is really interesting because her lawyer did a really, really interesting argument regarding some of the evidence that is brought forward towards her. For instance, you have the call records and where she was at the time. And since they didn't formally charge her until February of this year, I want to say, when she tried to get to Vietnam on a one-way ticket.
Just a quick skedaddle.
Yeah, just a quick skedaddle. Technically, the defense couldn't subpoena her records, and then they were long gone. So they cannot really rebut her call records from that time, or her car, or anything of the sort, where she actually was. So the defense attorney did a decent argument in arguing the state cannot use this against her because they're basically the same information now that they had back in 2016. So why didn't they charge her then? And from a moral standpoint, fuck her. From a legal standpoint, they have an argument. And they still haven't had a ruling on that, to my knowledge. Fani did not show up for court today. No, she didn't acknowledge the subpoena. I wonder if I have it.
And it's not like she had an attorney there either. They're refusing the subpoena because they say it's invalid. Even though nobody's ruled on their argument that it was invalid.
Yeah, she said... Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. I have it here.
In the disqualification hearing in, court in Georgia, they were fighting her subpoena for that too, and that's when she showed up on her own, right?
Yeah.
But she initially had her attorneys there to fight the subpoena for her for the disqualification, but here we didn't even have an attorney show up for her today in front of the Senate hearing.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I don't know if that's a difference. They're arguing if that's the gray area of the difference of balance of powers when it comes to the legislative subpoena powers.
On August 20th, August 22nd, 2024, nearly 5 months after the Senate adjourned, the committee issued us over 2 subpoenas. The subpoena was issued solely by the committee, not by the General Assembly. The subpoenas were not issued by the Ethics Committee for either the Georgia House of Representatives or the Georgia Senate. That is a bad argument because this commission is ordered by the Georgia Senate. So it's more or less they talk with the Senate's voice. No member of the committee made an application to a judge of this court seeking permission to issue, serve, and enforce such subpoenas. They don't have to, in my opinion. The subpoena's broad demands to produce documents are profoundly harmful to the prosecution. For example, the subpoena seek every single email between petitioner and former special counsel Wade for the last 5 years. Well, of course they do, because they want to know, when did the relationship start? Was it occurring during? And has it stopped?
Well, and have you seen the original subpoena, the original request?
I don't think I have.
I've seen it for like when Jim Jordan penned the one, but I haven't seen the special committee for the Georgia Senate committee. But I'm curious if the subpoena was specific to say between, like anything that would have been work related.
Yeah. I mean, even between two people, because the argument for the committee is to avoid state corruption. And if she then told in court that no, they broke up and then she hired him.
Well, then why wouldn't you come fight this in court? If you are arguing that it's too broad, wouldn't you want the hearing to argue that it's too broad, the opportunity to argue that it's too broad, so you can narrow it down to what you are saying would no longer be profoundly harmful?
Yeah, in front of
you really just don't want to do it at all.
Yeah, in front of a judge. Yeah, I agree with you. But this is in front of the people
Senate.
who actually subpoenaed you. So it's a bit different. But I understand why she wants to fight it, because I wouldn't bet money on it. But yeah, she boned him all along. Probably. Allegedly. The subpoenas also seek every text message exchanged between Fani Willis and Wade for the last 5 years, regardless of their relevance to any legislative purpose. The legislative purpose here is to remove the thing that Fani Willis uses as an argument for not being held accountable, that the DA's office is a separate entity from the state. And it appears like that is something that this committee is, one of their goals is to, do we need legislation to remove this notion that the DA's office is not a part of the state and not a part of the responsibilities the state has towards their taxpayers? The argument from this commission is that you are voted to this position, therefore the entire office is under public scrutiny. She says, no, we are a special entity and therefore we don't get scrutinized. Which is, say what now? That's the very, very short form of this. And I don't understand how you can be voted to a position and then avoid being publicly scrutinized. Yeah.
Well, it's almost like she's creating a fourth branch.
Yeah. Where the prosecution is separated from
all of it. It's just
else.
out here on its own. The other three have their checks and balances over here, but they're just floating over here on their own island.
I don't need to be held accountable for my voters. And because she specifically asked for money to clear the docket after the big global event, because the docket was filled. And then she took all of that money into 5 RICO cases. And the docket is still filled to the brim of people who are still in jail. Some people 3 months, 6 months, a year or more. in jail. Some without even having a bond hearing. Hey, Republic Room is here. 2 months. Great content. Thank you to Republic Room. Yay.
Good to see Republic Room.
Yeah.
I think also there's like an issue too with, it seems like this issue over the transparency starts with the request for records, right?
Yeah.
And there should be a procedure to get access to these records. The public should have access to them. But now we're retrofitting a solution by creating this island fourth branch that says, because we are the custodian of these records, these things that should be publicly accessible, we're removing the right to access by couching it under this fourth branch that we're pulling out of thin air. And that to me doesn't seem like the process. If nothing else, if you want to say you're on your own island, then the records need to be housed by somebody else, which means you have no control over them, because these records are supposed to be accessible by the public. Not her text messages, not her emails. I get you can argue the scope of what they're asking, 5 years straight of whatever. But for the records that Ashley Merchant was asking for about where checks were being paid from to Nathan Wade as a special prosecutor, all those subpoenas were denied.
Yeah. And
I mean, records requests were denied.
Yeah. Yeah, and I I've represented people against the state in on occasions because I'm not a union rep just for my branch. I do some consulting as well on the side. Most of it is private citizens against the not the government, but the local county or something like that, because they are being treated unfairly. And the best weapon I have is public records. And Miss Love is of the notion that she doesn't care that she is a public official. And
I'm
as
not
you said,
public, so any records that might fall under me no longer need to be public, is really how I see the cookie crumbling.
Yeah.
And I just don't see how that is something that can pass the smell test. I just don't see it.
No, I agree. It really doesn't. But it seems like in their effort, Georgia, because they are big in separate government from other things, that in the current legislation there is an opening or a loophole that says that might say, it depends, we don't know yet, that the DA's office is a separate entity from the state.
Well, I think they missed their opportunity to argue it today, because we had the minority party ask, I think, 2 total questions.
Yeah.
And one was really asking for a site. They just wanted a more clear site on what they could go look at. And I'm sure they'll be able to have time to write something, the minority parties. But having the sides of the Senate look at issues to argue back and forth is different than having someone come in to give their analysis in front of the Senate committee.
Yeah.
And both that I watched today were, the legislative branch should have this subpoena power, at least in an enough capacity to be able to subpoena some of these things. And there wasn't a counter argument to that, if you ask me, because Roy Barnes didn't show up.
Yeah. And I think at some point, even the party she is getting voted in by has to realize this is a bad thing. Because the entirety of okay, I'm getting political. I hate it, but the reason why Georgia is a swing state is because of Atlanta and the rest of Georgia. And this hurts Atlanta.
Yeah.
Even if she has an 85% approval, whatever it is, by her own party. Yeah, but 85% approval from her own party is not that good.
Well, and being able to get voted in doesn't necessarily help you for getting the budget that you're requesting, let alone making sure that budget's going to the things it's supposed to be going for. So
yeah,
you might get elected in, and then when all these other counties are looking at how Fulton's gotten all the extra money because they have a higher population for X number of years, and then they're hearing about how this money's being expended, what it's being devoted to. They're going to fight harder when it comes to the state divvying up their budget for other counties to get a bigger chunk of share relative to what Fulton County usually gets. So, you know, it isn't just about keeping someone elected and then they're there. It's what else goes around. The politics extend beyond the county as far as funding. So I think there's way bigger considerations than just, you know, she probably will get elected again. I personally don't see Courtney Kramer coming in this late in the race and being able to give a compelling reason for voters to learn the new name and go out and vote for the new name. I'm not trying to be like, put a lean in either way. I think that's, when you have an incumbent, I think that's typically the outlook when a late challenger enters.
Yeah, and now with everything that happens with the Fulton County Jail, that they don't have the money to pay people. And now they are leaving Fulton County Jail. I mean, you had private security.
County, wouldn't you say, but we gave you this much money, you had this much money, and now you're asking for more money that could come to our county who's already struggling. Can you imagine how tense these county to county arguments are going to become?
Hey, Miss Sylvia's on the way. Nice.
That'll be awesome.
Yep. She is doing her outro. Yay! So Miss Sylvia's on her way. Yeah. Yeah, the Fulton County Jail. Yeah, first this private security went away because they were owed $1 million. And then just, we're out. And I kind of understand why. But there was another thing the other day about something else in the Fulton County Jail, that more people just left. And there are still people in jail there. Still.
Rice Street's in the chat trying to free them. I don't know if you got to catch it. Tavis had me dying laughing talking about he went through the 2 different like press statements and the research on it. Oh my god, it had me dying laughing about the contraband, the chicken pot pies, the contractors, the excuses from both sides. Because both sides were making excuses, right? You know, we're putting bad contractors in there, and then, well, you're also not paying them at the same time, so not much wiggle room to argue.
I must say I missed that completely. I only read the things that was in the news.
Oh, you've got to, and it's a bit longer. You've got to watch it, at least in part, because you'll see the language that both sides are trying to use to make their statements, like very, very PR.
Oh,
it'll make you roll your eyes on both sides.
Oh, yeah, I'm having more beer. It's Friday, and I'm having beer. Oh, folks. It's Sylvia!
Hey, Kat. Hey,
Hi.
Hey! How are you doing?
Sorry, I took a little longer than I expected. They were trying to get on the line too long. Hey, Kat.
How are you? I saw your pictures today. I saw they were working on their homework real late in court today.
Yeah. Did you see Jeffrey gave me a smile? We had to smile for real.
Well, and this wasn't to you. I don't know if it was I think it was yesterday. It had nothing to do with you personally. But it's like he knew the camera was zooming in on him and he just went like this for a solid 10 seconds. Like I was like, he knows they're zooming in on him.
I know he's so tired of me with my camera. I'm like
hey, purple hearts. Purple rain, purple rain. Yeah, I can't sing. I can dance, but I can't sing. I mean, now, Sylvia. Today, Miss Love wasn't in court. How was the atmosphere in the courtroom without her there?
I mean, we didn't stay long enough to really feel the atmosphere, so it was pretty short. I don't think she was even noticed that she was not there. So I know the chat felt it, but the ones in in the courtroom didn't really feel it.
Yeah, I must say I don't miss her showing her behind to the camera at all, because she's really good at always doing that. No matter if the camera slides over to the other side, there she is bending over, and I can basically see her breakfast. And
Disavow.
I had Miss Sylvia, I had a few beers already.
What is
Yeah.
going on when she goes over, especially when she's reaching for a microphone? Maybe because a lot of time I do listen, but now that I'm like streaming it and looking at the screen, maybe I'm just noticing it more. But it seems like lately she's like scooting without turning her body to go to where the jury divider is, and like reaching for a microphone or a battery pack. She's like constantly going over to that area recently, scooting over. So like where the jury is, and like she's making it very clear she's not rotating her body or trying to draw the attention of the camera. I just keep noticing it.
She knows that the camera guy is going to keep capturing her. She knows.
Why does she keep going? Does she keep her stuff over there?
No, she doesn't keep her stuff over there. No.
What does she be doing when she goes like this all the way to the side?
No, I'm gonna look at it now since you said something about it.
She'll be talking and she'll be going like this, like reaching as if she's trying not to keep walking over to the side to reach for something off to the left side of our screen.
But also, she stopped using the podium completely. Now she's always in the camera shot.
And the camera guy that yesterday was trying to ask her, please, can you let me get a shot of her? She said, oh, I forgot. And she goes back doing the same thing.
Is there anything we can do to make you more comfortable? No, not really.
Oh, and by the way, the chat is bugging me. 10K subscribers.
And a 50 cushion.
And a bit of a cushion, because the day after somebody reaches a goal, the YouTubes tend to, remove some of them. And that's an issue many have had.
So why do you do that?
I don't know. For instance, Aussie Overlord, an Australian guy who is a streamer, he was stuck at 24 for over a year. And he put out content and he did that, and then he got to 24, he got to 25, and then boom, back under 25, and then I don't know why. But same with the Legal Vices. Where is, I don't know where he is. But he had a huge hurdle at 60, I believe, where for months and months he got 60,010, and the next day 50 were gone.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. So, but either way, we got past 10K for my channel. Next Friday will be an Ask Me Almost Anything stream on the panel show.
Okay.
You are, of course, invited, Sylvia.
Okay.
And you get one free question for me. The reason I say almost everything is because I cannot reveal privileged information. And
so how would we know it's privileged information?
This is information between me and client and cases. For instance, if somebody asked me
client stuff.
Yeah. So that is completely out of the question. And then Miss Viking really don't want anything revealed. So that is also out of the question. But other than that, it is my judgment, so to speak. on what I can and cannot answer. But my general rule with cases is it has to be 10 years old and not unique. Which I said this to Kat earlier, and I'll tell her, I can tell you about people or a person who shot themselves in the leg with a nail gun. And that is sadly not a unique case in my line of law.
They do it all the time?
Enough that it's not only once.
It happens more frequently than I would like to admit, that a person, in order to, I don't want to do that, whatever it is on their workplace, they found a nail gun and all of a sudden they think that, I accidentally shot myself in the leg and now I have a week off.
Wow.
Yeah. And
I would
that's
never. I think legs are so scary. You could hit an artery and then that's it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. And I wish that was in a unique situation I couldn't talk about, but it's more than one. It's more than 5. It's probably more than 20 over my 30-year career who used the shooting myself in the leg with a nail gun. And yeah. One thing. I don't know. Should I say this to next Friday? No. One of the most, I'm not saying disgusting, but a thing I was involved with was we need to have an instruction on the inside of the toilet door on how to go to the toilet.
That's gross. That's gross.
Yeah, because that thing about flushing and yeah. So I had to be involved with.
So they don't know how to go to the bathroom?
Or they did it because they didn't like their workplace. So they did things in the bathroom. That is not, let's not go into specifics. That is one thing I will not do a song about on Suno, because I know that the Not You song is not popular with these 2 lovely ladies.
I took a refill break.
Welcome to labor law. It's not all that you think.
What are you drinking, Kat?
Oh, this is just water. I just needed more ice.
Okay, give me some water.
I mean, I added more water too because I was out there, but it just was really warm.
And also, I wish it was only once. I had to do that.
Water. I'll be right back and get water.
Yeah. I mean, I love my members. I will represent them to the end of days. But Jesus Christ, please make my line of work a little bit easier sometimes. Please. Don't shoot yourself in the leg with a nail gun. It's not that uncommon.
When I can imagine like box cutters, like you think they're harmless, but then they're not actually harmless. Like simple utility tools suddenly seems a lot riskier once you work in the field.
People who want to get out of work are very resourceful. Let's just say that. Yeah. Hello. Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. And again, thank you to 175 gifted memberships. And amongst those are actual volunteer memberships, so to speak. And I'm amazed. You broke my current record with over 100 in one day. And that day was my birthday stream. There are news articles about the contractors leaving the... Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. Thank you, CMH. C. Oh. What? Who was stabbed? Sassy.
Like metaphorically to be stabbed in the back.
Oh,
by what was being
metaphorically.
said
Oh,
on the like June 7th ex parte.
Mm. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that poor guy that we talked about earlier, 5 years in jail, signed the plea, got released, and just maybe a year and a half later, he was jailed again for the same thing. And he can't get out because his lawyer doesn't. Wow. Yeah.
I still
I
really
mean,
want to see Martinez Arnold on the stand because his
oh,
plea,
yeah.
he can still invoke the fifth with his plea.
Oh,
And he does not have to stipulate. One of his factual acknowledgments is not that YSL is a gang. He did not acknowledge that YSL is a gang, and he does not have to testify to it.
oh, wow.
So that's Ashley Merchant's client. So
Oh, that is why Miss Love maybe wants Miss Merchant on the stand. Oh, for pure broadcasting and streaming reasons, Miss Love, if you're listening, first, then please call Miss Merchant to the stand. I really, really want to see you trying to handle Ashley Merchant.
well, and I think with that type of plea agreement, I feel like if Ashley Merchant was present in the courtroom and Love tried to impede on territory, implying that he should be saying that YSL is a gang, I can imagine some interruptions from Ashley Merchant without even being called to the stand. So they're probably going to try to call him when she's busy, so she'll have to have someone stand in or something tricky.
Yeah, I did hear a rumor about him being on the witness list for the defense, or even Miss Merchant being a witness on the defense side. Maybe that will force Miss Love to try to circumvent the situation by calling Miss Merchant herself. I mean, Mr. Wright, my chat was really, really critical of him. I think he did a decent job. And then the judge said yesterday, that wasn't a good idea, was it? To Miss Love. So apparently...
And it didn't go so well for you last time.
Yeah. And I mean, when the judge says that, take notice. Just take notice. But yeah, for personal reasons, please, Miss Love, call Miss Merchant to understand, because Mr. Wright is a lawyer. He is a working lawyer, a decent lawyer. He does what he can. Miss Merchant is of a completely different caliber. I mean, she is up there with Mr. Harvey and Mr. Steele in ability. She's really good. Really good.
I'm still so impressed on the fly with little preparation, how she came in and argued, made multiple arguments, knowing the differences between civil and criminal, knowing when a hearing was supposed to be called. She made all those pointed arguments on the fly on that day with like maybe an hour or two's notice to get down there.
Yeah, and just the way she schooled Glanville. Yeah. The outcome was quite clear. And just a week later, Glanville said, okay, I'm releasing the transcript. And yeah. Yeah. So yes, Miss Love, please call Miss Merchant to the stand. Please. Pretty please.
And then it's also kind of like you have the jurors trying not to pay attention to this case, but if they've heard any news about another major RICO case going on in
Oh,
Adelson
yeah.
County, and then Ashley Merchant's in the courtroom. Don't you think like that's kind of like that's a familiar face that was plastered on the news for at least, I don't know, probably like 2 weeks at that point in time when they were doing the disqualification hearing. There were a lot of news articles with pictures of her in them.
Yeah, they're only not allowed to read about this case, not about other cases. And I don't know about jurors if they have any interest when they get home because they've been listening to blah, 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 blah all day, if they even want to. But they had a 2-month break. And the only stipulation is don't research this case. There is a lot. No. Okay, what's going on? Oh, yeah, he had that shuddering. Yeah. He was so schooled by Miss Merchant that he really didn't know what to say.
And then he finally released the transcript.
Yeah, and then he released the transcript. Oh, Sylvia, the jury situation. Do you have any information you would like to share? Because I'm in the complete dark about what actually happened.
People were pain in the neck. Literally.
Okay. So she had a pain in her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's gone for 2 days. That's a pain in the neck.
If you're, let me stop. I would say, if you're around love, you're probably gonna have a pain in the neck, the butt, the everywhere.
Yeah. She can be a real pain in the everything. And
no, I'm just I made a joke because of the love thing, but she probably really had a real condition. It could have been a pinched nerve or something like that.
But is this the same juror who had to have a medical appointment the other week?
I really don't know, but if you do some deductive reasoning, you can make that assumption. But it's not good to make assumption, but most likely it's probably that juror. Because remember, there was 2 jurors that got on the case that had medical issues, and they knew it, and they still did not release them. Because remember, there was a male juror who, in the beginning, they couldn't start trial until he came back from having his chemo or something like that. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But the state wanted that individual really, really bad that they waited.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, they did wait for him.
Yeah. Because that would go against the speedy trial.
No, speedy trial didn't go against speedy trial because the trial actually started. The trial started January 4th. So they met the trial as long as there was some sort of trial going on. Trial means the actual trial site. Doesn't mean opening argument. It means once the juror is being selected, it's part of the trial.
Yeah.
So they met that on deadline.
Yeah, that is one of the things I have a hard time getting. Because for me, over here, trial starts, we have the judge and the layman judges.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, because this is the same thing as the Melly trial, they have to start the jury selection, then the trial starts, because they had 90 days in the Melly trials to recharge him, and that is when the jury selection starts. Then it's when, technically, judicially, the trial starts. But in this case, the trial then started in, I want to say, the prosecution said they were ready for trial on December 17th, 2022. Then they started jury selection in January after the holidays. And then they had jury selections for 10.5 months, in which the case loaded from the original 74 witnesses to 770 by November 16th, which is the date that is in, because I know the defense has argued for quite back then already. They cannot just bring on new witnesses all the time. And they've been arguing that since March of 2023. What is
Still
going
through, like,
on?
literally today.
Yeah, and today they got a new witness. And it is so infuriating. But at least this judge...
They had that witness. They just put the witness back on there.
Yes,
Well,
so it
and
was.
they want to bring up Dennis and whoever again, and they're talking about the what Morton, but the state doesn't want. I mean, the defense doesn't want to stipulate to who one person is on the call, but the state is still not saying that they plan to call these people. So all these people they're saying they're not sure they plan to call. That's going to add to the 100.
Yeah.
Because they're inevitably going to decide they're going to try to call these people that they're saying, well, we don't know.
Oh, yeah. The witnesses for counts 24, 25, and 26 have to be reinserted into the trial because they were removed. But without them, they don't have the counts 24, 25, 26. And the judge acknowledged that. Who are these people?
They got to bring them back in.
Yeah.
They're afraid to bring Zachary in.
I would
I love
imagine
Shart's
so.
call out on that. If they're calling him.
Yeah.
They're scared to bring him, and then they acting like they can't find him. Come on now, you know exactly where he's at.
Yeah. And he's been in a hospital. What, hasn't he? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
No, you think about him, but he hasn't been in the hospital.
Okay. Everybody knows where Mr. Zachary is. Okay. Kaylee Sheldon.
His family. He just had death in his family.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, from the reportings, it's Zachary so sick he's on his end bed, but no, apparently not. The things you find out on Friday panel show. Yeah.
They just scared to bring him because they're afraid of what's going to happen. And they don't want it to happen. It's the same thing because you notice they're already doing impeachment talk, right?
Yeah. Oh, and they can't do it because his plea deal says he doesn't have to stipulate. Zachary does.
You're talking about a different Zachary. Lil D has not ever been on the case.
Oh.
You're talking about Garland.
Martinez Arnold.
Oh, yeah, Zachary. Okay.
No, Lil D has never been a part of the case. I mean, indicted.
Is he one of these
unindicted? That's why we
had
had that week of all the hearings, the evidentiary hearings. That's why we had to listen and go through all of his statements.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they used that co-conspirator exception.
He's Lil D from Mechanicsville. Somebody put Lil D is dead. Not that Lil D.
Oh, there are so many people around, and most of them. I mean, one of the things with this trial which infuriates me is this thing called the unindicted co-conspirators. In my mind, they're not in the case. If they are co-conspirators, they should be charged. If they are not charged, they are not co-conspirators. But apparently, Georgia lawmakers wants it to be this way. That, yeah, you can bring that up, sure. And it's infuriating.
Haven't there also been some mentions? I remember, I think one was a girl that was on a call and they didn't even know what her name was. Like, she wasn't even identified, and they still argued that her voice should be allowed in as an unindicted co-conspirator. Like, they were treating her like a John or Jane Doe placement in a civil case, which is not how a criminal case against indicted co-conspirators should be prosecuted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you notice how they was talking about Merrick and what's his name? The fight that they had in the jail. What's his name? The rapper. What's his name? Come on.
Rayshawn Bennett, Lucci.
Yeah, Bennett. You notice how they were talking about that whole situation between him and Merrick. Do you remember what Merrick looked like? Do you remember he was the one that was sitting next to? He was so spaced out. And he was mean looking.
Oh, the one Siri shot at. Was that Siri?
No, not that one. That's Polo. I'm talking about the one that we're sitting next to the lady with the curly hair. The black lady with the
Maybe I
curly
don't
hair.
know.
And he used to sit there looking all mean and be looking into space. He was mean looking.
I don't remember. I just remember the one that was always had the headphones in, was always going like this.
Yeah,
and I was like, is he doing that on purpose to get out of there?
No, he was losing his mind. He was losing it.
But I just have to show this. 10,069. I just had to show it. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
But Bennett, they were trying to say that Bennett said that it was YSL that didn't know, had nothing to do with that. He never mentioned who it was. It was the body cam of the officer is the one who's giving the report.
That sounds typical. Everything comes in as someone's report rather than, but somehow it attaches as an unindicted co-conspirator or an indicted conspirator that pled out. It attaches as something that they acknowledged, but it's never anything that they acknowledge. It's coming from a detective, and that's the argument with some of Zachary's statements, right? The state is still unsure because they're trying to get it to come in through Thorpe or Dennis. I think it's Dennis. Might be both. Yeah. But that's why they're trying to figure out how much they can ram in through Dennis now that it's a different judge and not have to call Zachary at all. Because they're trying to say that Dennis's theory of the case should be enough as a summary witness. But he's already been called as a summary witness. So
Cece is here. Hello, Cece. Good to see you back. Or since I got back. I have to visit the big boys room, but one thing. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm making noise. My allergies acting up.
Oh no.
Now, I heard something about a discovery of a flash drive with photos that the prosecution previously said no, they don't exist. Kat knows exactly what I'm talking about, so go right ahead.
Oh, I felt gaslit when they said that. I was like, are they talking? I had to ask. I think I paused the stream. I said, are they talking about a thumb drive of photos that they previously said they lost, that they were down at the APD looking for? They're gone. They can't find them. They only have a witness that can summarize the photos because the witness at the APD had looked at the photos. So they weren't going to have an eyewitness that was on the scene. They were going to have a witness from APD who remembered looking at the images come in and testify about the images because the images were lost. And suddenly they have a thumb drive of those same things they said was lost.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's insane. And I imagine that thumb drive is loaded and they're hoping that it's going to be out of context and the defense can't figure it out. And now the defense has to take the time to figure it out. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure they're intelligent and resourceful. They'll see on there what's in that set of photos that's not supposed to be seen. But how do you have faith in the chain of custody, the integrity of what's on this drive? You're missing the photos and you suddenly have a drive.
Yeah. It's crazy.
And they'll say it's not Brady because they'll say, an equal access issue. If the state in good faith believed they didn't have access to it because they believed it was lost, and then when they found out it wasn't lost, they disclose it, they turn it over, then it's not a violation because they've provided now the reasonable equal access. So, and that's based on the premise that it was good faith that they really believed they were missing it. So there's that. But yeah, that was a crazy part to me. And the idea that if they never found this thumb drive, that they thought it would be acceptable to just call someone to attest to what they saw on the photos would be insane, because eyewitnesses are unreliable. How is someone looking at a photo of something supposed to give reliable contextual summarizations of something? Just stupid. It's just stupid. Oh, you got taken over.
He just took the seat. Just took the seat.
He was trying earlier because he kept like tapping you. I thought he was trying to get your attention. He's probably telling you to move.
Mr. Jingle took my share away. Get up. Hey, Miss Jingles. Ah. Mr. Jingles. Yeah, it's not my share, it's Mr. Jingles' share. Oh, where am I from? I'm Swedish. I'm Swedish. But I look like an American, especially when
with the Buc-ee's hat.
With the Buc-ee's hat or with my Miller's hat.
So you went to Buc-ee's?
Oh yeah. I went to 3 different Buc-ee's.
I've never been to Buc-ee's, and I hear so much things about Buc-ee's.
You weren't here. Sylvia, you've heard the tales about drunk me buying sober me gifts, haven't you? Or something of the sort.
No.
Okay. When I'm intoxicated, I have the habit of, I need that. And so I bought a Buc-ee's double XL onesie.
Oh, look at that. You gonna wear it on your show?
If it arrives before next Friday on my celebration stream, I will stream in my Buc-ee's onesie.
Oh, that is so cute.
Oh. Yeah, for you guys who just joined or joined in the last hour or so, last year my wheel of regrets was mostly alcohol. And the day after, my memory was maybe kind of fuzzy. And drunk me likes to go shopping. And often on like Timo or Alibaba or something. So in the 6 to 8 weeks it takes for it to arrive, I forget about it. And all of a sudden I have weird stuff in my mailbox. For instance, but not limited to my chicken hat or my red and black camouflage sports jacket and stuff like that. Or the stuff. Yeah, so it's really, really dangerous when intoxicated me with my credit card and Timo buying me stuff. It is really, really dangerous. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that. It's not healthy.
I looked. I have a Buc-ee's 60 miles away. It could happen today.
You could go to Buc-ee's and get yourself a Buc-ee's onesie.
I could get a hat.
Or you can get a hat.
So we're going to do Buc-ee's next week. But you have to
wait. I didn't know there's one in Daytona, so that's like an hour from me.
Oh.
There's one in Daytona?
I just Googled and it came up. It said 61 miles, Daytona Beach.
Let me see the closest one to me, because they're supposed to be building one closer to me now. But I don't know if it's built yet.
Let's see here. Buc-ee's has 48 locations in the United States. Let's see where they...
Home, Georgia.
Oh. Those two in Florida are really close to each other. All things considered, they need to expand.
For some reason, Texas. But I know I passed through one there, and another one around here, I believe.
There's one in Macon, Georgia.
And then you have the one in Richmond, which is the largest one in USA.
Why is it so little? I can't see it. Your little thing map here.
Hold on. Oh.
There's one Fort Valley.
These are really small dots. They have one over here. What is that? Arizona? I have no clue. Buc-ee's has their gas stations around the Tornado Alley, I assume. Yeah, but I visited the one in Richmond. I want to say Georgia, but I'm not sure. At least it was, or Indiana. I'm not sure.
The closest one is 86 miles from me.
86 miles? That's an hour and a half. That's next door neighbor.
That is not next door neighbor.
Or you can just go online and buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
because I saw the Buc-ee's onesie when I got there, but it was double XL. I'm not a double XL. I'm a 3 times XL. But United States, your sizes got switched to one size lesser, so I actually could have bought one when I was there, so I ordered one instead. And the latest from Amazon is that, let's see, track package. Dun, dun, dun. Now expected by September 20th, which is next Friday. So, yeah, I will get it the day of the celebration stream.
I mean, I can't wait.
Texas opened the largest one recently. Okay, so that means that Richmond is dethroned, because I believe Richmond has like 60 or something pumps for gas. I mean, I drove up that little hill and it was just, that's a lot of gas. Taffy candy and the brisket from. I did try the candy from, but it is a bit too sweet for my palate. It's a bit too sweet. Oh, Rice Street has my size. Oh. It took me a second and a half to get that. Yeah, I would assume you have my size in clothing, Rice Street.
That was a good time.
Oh.
I might think about going. I have food cooking, but I can eat it tomorrow.
It's Saturday tomorrow. You can go anywhere you want. Or it's Saturday now for me, but it's Saturday tomorrow for you.
I'm thinking about it strongly, more strongly than I should. You know, one time when I was growing up, me and my friend, I had just moved like a little bit. We called it upstate at that point in time. This is before I moved further upstate in New York. So, you know, you move like 45 minutes outside New York City, you're suddenly upstate in New York until you actually move upstate. So when I moved to like mini upstate New York, one day me and my friends, we decided we're going to drive down to get fried Oreos from the boardwalk in New Jersey. So there we spent 3.5 hours driving to get fried Oreos and then drove back like idiots. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Was there no Buc-ee's branded salted licorice? No, sadly it wasn't. I looked for it.
There's so much in those stores.
Here's Casper, Buc-ee's history. Founder Arch Beaver Applin opened his first store as a partners in Clute, Texas in 1982. Yes, 1982. Appellate informed the name Bucky is by combining his childhood nicknames and his dog's name Buck. Ah, that's sweet. Yeah, I mean, if I were to have an RV in the United States, I could more or less have an RV and drive from Bucky's to Bucky's and have everything I need. Hey, Mark Waddle is one of the 10,000 subscribers.
Heck yeah.
Yay! And I am at 10,073, so I do have a cushion for... Oh... I have a weird sense of humor, and Legal Vices, you need to follow him. This is exactly how I broke both of my arms in 2010. Watch for motorcycles. Yeah. And I have to ask, if you break both arms, how do you wipe your butt? And Jeff answered very carefully.
Oh, sounds horrible. I broke a finger once and like felt useless, and it was on my left. I'm right-handed, but it was on my left hand, and I still felt useless just having like a fracture on one finger. A useless finger. It's not like my pointer or thumb, so I can't imagine.
When I did my sports in my teens and early 20s, I was a goalkeeper. I've more or less broken all of my fingers, everything more or less, and yeah, and a few ribs, and my nose I have broken on more than one occasion. Yeah. They claim I need surgery for it, but I don't care. And what else have I broken? Well, ankle, foot, wrist. I didn't break my neck, but it was close. Yeah, I mean, life is hard sometimes. Life is hard. Thank you, CC22. Congratulations on 10K. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm still in awe. I've broken my nose twice. You can see a curve one way and then the other. Well,
cool.
you can see it because it doesn't really matter because I've broken it so many times it's not fixed anymore, my nose.
Yeah, you were a goalie. I got hit in the face a lot with soccer balls, so that explains this. It was all when I was a kid. One time I got hit with a softball right in the nose too, so. And then my favorite nose story, and I never like got treatment. I don't know if I don't know. I have had nosebleeds for hours because of things, but we used to have like sumps, which are, downward, and then there's like one part for like sewage in the corner, but you could ride your bikes, and we built ramps and stuff. And one day the brake line on my bike was, so right when you're supposed to slow down before you go off the ramp so you don't fly off the ramp, I flew off the ramp and went way further and landed in a pile of like thorn bushes and cinder blocks and right on my face somehow. So I went through like a roll of paper towels, and here we are. Here we are today.
I started out as everybody else. I mean, I played soccer and hockey and different sports. Then they realized quite soon that you need to keep me away from opponents. I'm a bit competitive and at that time a bit aggressive. And I was sent off almost every game because that's my ball, get away from it, and that's my puck, get away from it. And so I became a goalkeeper. Started out in soccer, which was, okay, you're still too close to your opponent because they get quite close.
They go close, yeah.
Yeah, and then hockey where they got even closer, and then I had
The stick. You have the extra distance.
I had extra distance, but handball was good because it was at least 6 yards or more. But then they start jumping in towards me, and I jumped back. And apparently, tackling people in the air is not allowed in handball. And
you never did like rugby or anything? Or is that like
No.
not a team sport?
yeah, I mean, it exists in Sweden, but not my.
Not enough to
Part of-
do.
Yeah. And when I was in my late 20s, I mean, they formed an American football team. But by then I was working way too many hours, so I didn't have time. But I did have a friend of mine back in the day who did play rugby in the Swedish national team at the time. And he was semi-retired. He was in his 30s, and he was invited. Can you please join our American football team? And he said, "Oh, is that the team with the pads and the helmet?" Yeah. Gay. And then he walked away. So yeah, that was his opinion. Yeah, he played with it. I want to feel it hurt, was his more or less answer.
Not me.
Yeah, but yeah, I played in 2nd division as a goalkeeper, so I did get close to the big leagues, but I got sent off too often. So yeah, it was too risky. But I have calmed down since then. I have calmed down. And
I've gotta put a Mr. Jingles emoji in the chat. Mr. Jingles is like going bananas back there. I gotta open YouTube because I don't see the emojis in StreamYard.
Now, thank you to Rice Street and thank you to Pete. Thank you. We are at 185 gifted memberships. Hello, Mr. Jingles. Hello. Do you want to say hello to the audience? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You really enjoy this. Hello. Hello, folks. This is Mr. Jingles, our supreme leader of the Mr. Jingles Viking Thugs. Huh? Hello. Hello.
He's giving a
Look
very
how
stern look.
he really enjoys himself. He's not at all planning my demise. Hello. Yeah, he's going to kill me in my sleep. Hey, Bethany Dobbs. Hey. Yeah, Mr. Jingles is my farm cat. I have had it. Tim and his brother were both rescues. They were found at an abandoned barn, and a friend of mine took them in, and then he couldn't keep them, so I took them in, and he is somewhere between 8 and 10 years old now. We're not entirely sure.
Aww.
And he tried to end himself on a couple of occasions, once by jumping down from the roof, and once by locking himself into one of the containers I have on the farm that we rented out to people living nearby who wanted the space for storage, so we rented out. Apparently, somebody was putting things in, and Mr. Jingles thought, "Oh, I haven't been in here before," and then they closed the door behind him.
That's a very cat thing to do.
Yeah, for
A C cat, not a K cat.
Yeah, so he was in there for 3 weeks in the summer. And then they called me because he's a farm cat. Reality is sometimes stuff happens at a farm. It just does. So he was gone. First, he might be at the neighbors or he's found something to play with. But after 2 weeks, all right, time to accept the fact. After 3 weeks, the renters called me. "Hey, do you have an orange cat?" "Yeah." Well, we opened into a container and he ran out. So he was, I mean,
Just in there.
he had been in there for 3 weeks in the middle of summer, surviving by probably licking the side of the container for condensed water. So he was so skinny. So I took him to the vet who did all the pokies and everything. Well, he's fine, but you have to be careful because now you have to feed him a little at a time so you get it.
It don't shock him.
Yeah, don't shock him. And I did that for maybe a day and a half. And then I looked outside and he had about 5 or 6 mouse carcasses. So okay, I think he's good.
That's hilarious.
4 years ago, and yeah, so now he's up to his normal, 13 or 14 pound cat.
My dog used to just bring birds and just be like, gross.
Yeah. Oh, all right, folks. I saw your private chat, and yeah, we have been at it for 2.5 hours. We have talked a bunch about the Young Thug trial. I have thanked you all for getting me over 10K. We are currently at 10,076.
Heck yeah.
So we do have a cushion. And I have prepared a few videos to be released Saturday and Sunday, so you don't get accustomed with me not doing weekends anymore. And but I do have to finish off the Eileen Warnes trial, which is the Florida-based female serial killer. So probably tomorrow afternoon US time, I will do some more about Eileen Warnes.
Perfect. I can work and lurk because I work on weekends. So I've got like website writing to do. So hopefully I'm not listening and like, you hear a word and you type it because you're hearing it on accident. Hopefully I don't like pick up a word from a serial killer trial and put it into sales copy, but
yeah, I don't know where Sylvia went, but I'm sure she's fine. I haven't put up somebody to redirect to. Any suggestions in the chat? Oh, holy fuck!
What? Oh, Rice Street.
50!
Holy moly, Rice Street.
Holy moly!
Spending that taxpayer money.
That brings us up to 235 members in one day.
That is awesome. That is so awesome.
Thank you, Rice Street.
Everybody, again, this is the only time where we can shout out praise for Fulton County Rice Street is when this happens. So shout out to Rice Street in the chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, I did see it being a war between Rice Street and Satchel, but no. I think this was a knockout in that gang war.
Well,
now,
they're kind of a hybrid gang, both doing the same end goal. Turning people green.
Now, folks, do you have a suggestion for redirect?
Oh, I forgot. I'll look and see.
I have Shizzy is on, Sean Potentially Criminal is on, Broken Baker is on, Brandy Churchwell is on. But I do
Verdict
have...
is in? And
I
Lori
don't know.
Shaver.
It's Verdict
I see 2
Watch.
people live, 3 people live, and one says Verdict is in and just went live 3 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah, they're showing the court seating down, so I don't know.
Okay,
I haven't followed that case, but
no, but it's a Verdict Watch, and I'm sending you over to Broken Baker. He is Danish, but don't hold that against you.
It'll be like a slightly different accent than what you're hearing with Nick.
Yeah, slightly different English accent. Does that call for... Yeah, it actually calls for a shot. And for 50, Rice Street. Oh, wait. I do have a Georgia. So shot glass up here somewhere, I hope. I don't know. From Blue Ridge, Georgia. The Bigfoot shot glass.
I'm going to show all the love for Rice Street.
So,
Coke hits his Rice Street getting all kinds of contraband money.
with a Bigfoot shot glass of vodka. Cheers, and I will be sending you all off to Broken Baker. See you in the next stream, or the video, or at Kat's, or at Sylvia's. See you. Cheers. Oh, that's a big shot.
From a Bigfoot shot glass.
Standing you off with Quez and Little Mike.
Chris and Lil Mike, they be strolling through Atlanta streets. Crimes unfolding, but here's the twist. They're just a myth, ghosts in the night, they don't exist. Streets are buzzing, stories flying, legends living without denying. But in the shadows, truths resist. Quez and Lil Mike, just a twist. They're just illusions, echoes in the mist. Crimes and myths, but they don't exist. Walking down, doing all the crimes, staring stars in our ruthless rhyme.